Hey guys, it's Jen from corporate, and by the time you guys are seeing this, the ball has dropped. It is 2025, January 1st, and we are going to have a kick-ass year, especially starting with this podcast. I am so excited. I really have been wanting a podcast just to talk about everything and anything because I don't really talk to you guys much. I just make prank calls and that's it. So I feel like you guys need more of an opinion from a person like me rather than the other people on the internet. So we're going to talk about quite literally anything. So send me what you guys want to talk about, questions, what have you. But first, I do have to get into all the basics, like how this started. Some people don't even know my real name. What is the purpose of Jen from corporate? We'll get all into that. First, my name is Kate. A lot of people who are just discovering my Instagram, because I just recently started an Instagram, a lot of people think I'm actually from corporate or my name's Jen. Both seemingly true because of how well I gaslight people. But no, surprisingly, I am a college student. I am a little bit behind because I went to a college in person before COVID started and I just didn't like it. They messed up my major and basically told me I had to take that major and I didn't want to. So I transferred to a community, got my associates there, and now I'm going to an online school. I go to Southern New Hampshire. I do everything online though because I have a sick doggy at home that I take care of. She gets her insulin. She's a little diabetic. That's the love of my life. She's my baby. Her name's Coco. And then I have a French bulldog. Her name's Pearl. And then another miniature pinscher named Theodore. So a lot of people are just seeing my videos now on Instagram Reels and they're thinking that I'm actually from corporate, but I'm not. Jen from corporate was born randomly when somebody picked up the phone and had an attitude. And I thought, you know what? What if corporate was on the other end? Would you still have this attitude? Of course they don't. So I guess, it's the word corporate that scares these people. But it's also I also don't feel like anybody can just be Jen from corporate. Only I could be Jen from corporate because I just possess those manipulative and gaslighting and communicative skills. I have the gift of gab. I love to speak. This podcast is going to be easy for me because I'm just going to blab and blab and blab. Anyway, so that's how Jen from corporate came to be. I just randomly thought of the name Jen, and now I pretend I'm Jen when I want to be in authority or when I want somebody to have an attitude check. But other than that, I call random numbers and I pretend that I am the first person that they guess. And that's basically what it is. I don't know anybody that I call. People do not submit requests. I don't take requests because I feel like it takes the fun out of it for me. Because I like to kind of guide the call the way I want to do it. And if I'm following a script that somebody else is paying me to do, Nate, call my mom, blah, 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 say this. It's not fun for me. So I do this for fun. I really enjoy it. I think it's fun to just, I don't know, be a little lighthearted on the internet and not take things so seriously. There will be the occasional person that'll come by and be like, it's not funny to joke about, da 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 da, my prank calls, and they'll literally just get blocked because it's not, grow up. Just have, be lighthearted. Be a little more lighthearted, guys. That's what my page is all about, and that's what this podcast is about. And we're gonna this is a judgment-free zone. Yeah, so you'll never see me caught in any, influencer drama. Because I don't consider myself an influencer, nor do I get treated like one. I literally don't get any PR. I don't get paid for this. I don't get any sponsorships. But that's the goal for 2025. Hopefully this podcast will take off and do so well. Of course, my dad is calling me right now. Anywho, let's talk about how this, even came to be. Oh, hello? We'll talk about this first because this is a beautiful landline. A lot of people are like, are you calling on a remote? Is that a Roku remote? Da 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 da. No, it's not a remote. This is a landline. This is what people used before they had iPhones, guys. and my family was not going to let their tradition die. I plan on having a landline too in my home. It's just a nice place to, I don't know. I like my landline. My cell phone's my cell phone, but my landline's my landline. She plugs right in, she charges. I used to have a white one, but my family got all black ones. My grandma has one that's like on the wall. But let's talk about how this all started. So, you guys know me as Jen from corporate, but like 500,000 other people know me as either the olive loaf girl or fried babies for dinner. Let's talk about both. Fried Babies for Dinner was my first username of my iconic account back in 2021, where I almost had 1 million followers before it got deleted. Back then, the rules and regulations were a little more strict, so some of my jokes did not fly over as well as they do now. And my account got deleted, so unfortunate. I was literally like so distraught from it for years that I just stopped posting until recently April, where I just started posting again, and now I have this account. But Fry Babies for Dinner, I did prank calls. They were a little more like raunchy, I feel like. I have a little bit more of like a filter now. Back then they were like, I don't know. I wouldn't do my calls that I did back then now because I wouldn't want to get my account deleted or anything, but I just like the way that Jen from corporate is like my thing now. And yeah, like back then I didn't have Jen from corporate. I wasn't anybody. I was just Kate, like prank calling random ass places. A lot of people ask me if I have any previous expertise in like acting or theater or anything, or cold calling or like phones or anything of the sorts. Sorta, kinda is the answer to that. I was like a child actress for a little while. I was in some movie. That was in Law and Order SVU. Yeah, I did some things. I dabbled. I've always been very outgoing and very funny. I've always tried to make people laugh, and I've always enjoyed when people would laugh because of me. I don't know. It's good to laugh. Like a good belly chuckle, like really makes you feel better. And it's cool to know that I can do that for people. So I enjoy everything that I do right now on TikTok. I think it's really fun and lighthearted, and it makes me happy and it keeps me entertained. And I plan on continuing it. And hopefully this podcast takes off and bigger and better things can come from all this. So back to what I was talking about, my account in 2021, Fried Babies for Dinner. Like, how did that even come to be? Well, all the spam callers that call my home, my beautiful little landline, I decided to pick up one day. And they said, "Can I talk to so-da-da-da?" And I said, "No." I hung up. All I did was say, "No." And I hung up on them. And I don't know, people I guess thought it was ballsy and funny. And that video had like 16 million views. And I was like, oh, maybe I could do something with this. This seems fun. So I started answering like every spam call that my home got. And then I was like, I'm going to call people now. I'm not just going to answer stuff. I'm going to call people. And I don't know, I have a poker face, and I'm just really good at like making up a story under pressure, I guess. I don't go into any of these calls with a written plan or anything like that. A lot of people say, why do you call people random stuff at the beginning? Because, like, literally exactly why you're asking. It's confusing, right? Are you confused? Good. That's why. So I recently started posting back up in April after my account got deleted. I took a few years off. I was just going to school and just browsing TikTok. I did not make a single prank call for like 2 years. And then in April, I posted a flashback memory that I have from Snapchat of me doing one of these prank calls that I did years ago. And it just blew up again. And I was like, okay, the people miss me. I'm back. And they're like, oh my god, fried babies for dinner. And I was like, oh, I don't want to put fried babies as my username, though. I feel like that's not like, that's going to get me flagged. So I was just Wokate, which is just my regular username to my personal Instagram. Wokate's always been the name that I've chosen for all my social medias, like just my personal social medias. So I brought Wokate to there, to TikTok, to claim that name. And then Jen from corporate was born like months after that. So I made another TikTok account to claim the name Jen from corporate. And that's my alternate account that I just like spam post on. And Jen from corporate is my Instagram. Trying to get into YouTube. This video will be going on YouTube. And yeah. So that's really it, guys. I don't know really what else to talk about. This is also my first podcast that I'm ever doing. This is like my first really I'm trying to take the next leap into content creating, if you can say. But I don't have like a manager or like anybody helping me do this. This is all me on my own. I've yet to be discovered, I guess you can say. But I'm like praying for my Alex Earl moment where I get discovered and flown out to trips and given free shit and paid for all of this time and videos that I make. I want to be compensated for it. So that's the goal, hopefully. But I'm still going to school. I still live a very much regular ass life. I'm going to school, babysitting. My boyfriend just recently moved down from North Carolina last year, so we're living together in my grandma's house because my grandpa passed away, so she has a downstairs floor. So we are staying with Graham, and it's great. That's actually a story that I think I want to talk about next episode, is how me and my boyfriend met, because believe it or not, it's all because of TikTok. I hope you guys tune in next week to When Corporate Calls, and I really hope that this podcast can be your new favorite podcast of 2025, because, there's no bullshit coming from me. I'm down to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I want to give you advice, opinions. I'm 25, so I feel like I'm a little bit older than a lot of the people that I see. Actually, that's not true. I have a lot of people that are like way older than me that follow me, but a lot of the younger kids, I do get some questions like relationship advice and this and that, and I'd love to do like literal just talk about life stuff. So anything you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Send me your questions, and next week I think I want to talk about how I found love through TikTok. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in next week, and I hope you guys have a happy new year. Drink some champagne. I'm going to pop a bottle of champagne the minute I post this, and cheers to 2025. This is my year. Manifesting that. Marking that right now. Bye, guys.